Hello friends, this is Sawan Kumar and welcome back to Money, Business and Finance. So let's continue our story of sales, being great with sales, being the best salesman, how to get better with sales. A lot of questions, a lot of things to know, a lot of things to get trained on. Today we are going to know how to be better with sales, how to be better with actually closing the sales. Yes, it is a scientific process. I would say it is a process and it is a scientific process. Have you ever seen a chef? So what is the difference between a chef and your mom or your wife cooking at home or you cooking at home? How is you cooking at home different from a chef cooking in a 5-star hotel? How are they different and what makes them different? Why are you ready to pay that huge amount to a chef while your home cooking is a home cooking? What exactly makes them different? I'll tell you what makes them different. There is a process that makes them different. They know exactly what amount of ingredients would be going in for a particular portion of food, how many seconds or how many minutes each of those ingredients have to be cooked or baked or whatever it is. They exactly have a recipe, they exactly have a step-wise process of what exactly they would be doing to get the final food. And that is why they end up giving you the exact same output every single time. No matter how many times you visit the restaurant or the hotel, you get the same food. And that is why you revisit them. If it so happens that you get a different taste every time, you might not be willing to go there, because then you miss on the thing that you liked the first time. If they do not follow that process, one day it would be very good, the other day it might not be that good. So it keeps changing, and you're just not like that, right? But what do we do with sales? Do we have any process? Do we have any scientific steps that we follow so that every time we end up with a common result, that is closing the client? Yes. Right now, what we do is, or what we follow is something like a homemade food. We go, we stand, we pitch, and we reply or respond depending on how things come back to us, and we just reply accordingly. We do not have a trained process or a trained step or a documented step that we would be taking based on the experience of senior salespeople in the country or in the globe or in your team. We do not have a documented process. And when you do not have a documented process, you have to reinvent new things every single time for every objection that is coming in, and therefore you do not get a predefined result every time. Most of the times you listen a no, because you're not following a standard process, you're not following a standard step. So figure it out. Figure out what your standard process of sales would be. Document it. Understand what kind of objections do you mostly listen from your clients. I do not have time, I do not have the money, I do not have the resources, my wife didn't agree, my spouse didn't agree. There could be so many different kind of objections. But what is your response to each of the objection? Are you ready to answer to the objection that the client just gave you? If you are prepared, if you have a documentation done, if you already know the list of objections that the client could come up with, and if you already have had the answers to it, imagine the kind of confidence you would have. Imagine how you would present yourself in front of the client. Imagine how the client would see you. Seeing you so confident about your product, your service, your sales, he would definitely be convinced about you and your product. He would be willing to be a part of it. He would be willing to make a purchase. But for that, you have to show that confidence. The moment you shake, the moment you sound not very confident, you lose a sale. And that is why, in place of depending on a tasty food out of luck, make sure that every day you get tasty food, because you have a recipe in your hand or you have a set of process in your hand. This is what would make you the best salesman. This is what will make or grow your sales career awesomely. This is one thing that you should be trying to know, or even I would say understand if you have to become a better salesman. Have a good day.